Yo, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another video on the SCS Gaming channel. It's your boy Shieston, guys. I know I've not been very consistent with my uploads, but this summer, don't worry, we have plenty of time left to get a lot of banger content. This July, we are going to be grinding, hopefully getting at least a video per day. Hope everyone is going to enjoy their July 4th, as that is approaching very near. But we have some big news in the NBA, which is a sport I haven't covered in a while. We have the news that the Phoenix Suns have qualified for the NBA championship, and I wanted to make this video kind of to review and touch base on that game, as well as some of my predictions for the further NBA games, as well as the Conference Finals, which will be happening over the next few days to see who plays the Suns in the NBA championship. Overall, incredible performance by Chris Paul. He's, I think, besides Derrick Rose, I think he's the number one player who deserves an NBA championship the most. He's been such a loyal player to whatever team he goes to, has been putting his all of his effort into practice, hours and hours, 10,000 hours, he said, being put in this gym over the last 16 years he's played in the National Basketball Association. And it's incredible to see, how far he's gotten. And I'm really, I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan, as he hasn't really played for my teams. And I haven't personally connected with him, but I have major respect for him, and I think he will, if he goes on to win this championship, he deserves to, and the utmost, I have the utmost respect for him. This was, I also kind of lost a lot of respect for Patrick Beverly, who I thought was one of the most nitty gritty basketball players that are left in the NBA. I had some good respect for him, but I just wasn't feeling him. Obviously, he had some very controversial things, pushing Chris Paul, being a sore loser. It's not what I like to see from an NBA player, and I lost a lot of respect for Pat Bev overall. Paul George did what he could. He had a great series. No Kawhi, which definitely hurt them. Not a strong squad when you don't have Kawhi. And I think if Kawhi was there, um, even if you take out Paul George, I think Kawhi still could have carried this team. No disrespect to Paul George because he had a hell of a series, but I just think that Kawhi is a better player in my opinion. I think most would agree. Uh, but it is what it is. The Clips got to move on. I do believe the Suns are taking the championship. I'll say Suns, and depending on who they play, of course. The Hawks and Bucks series getting very interesting. Game 5 is tonight. At the time I'm recording this. Trae Young is out, and I believe Giannis is also out. So I think based on the performance that we saw in Game 4 at Atlanta, without both superstars for both teams, the way the Hawks played with Kevin Huerter, and Bogdan Bogdanovic, Gallinari, and then you saw even Cam Reddish getting into it, uh, and Clint Capella, of course, being a dominant big man. I think they could eke out a win here. It'll be tough because it is at Milwaukee, and I think the home advantage has been very effective in this series. But I think if the Hawks just play basketball, I think they can pull out a win. So yeah, I don't know too much about the availability if Trae Young's playing or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he is, but even if he's not, I think the Hawks still have a strong chance of taking that game and possibly going all the way. Now, at the beginning of the season, if you told me the Phoenix Suns were going to the NBA Finals, I would have majorly disagreed with you, and I'd think you're a madman. Well, not a madman because I mean they have a good team, but I don't see them as a championship team to be honest. At the beginning of the season, I didn't, but the way they've played throughout the season, throughout the regular season, and throughout this postseason, impeccable. They beat the hard Lakers, the very tough Lakers, who had a few injuries, of course, with Anthony Davis, but still they proved themselves to be a strong contender. I'm like, okay, impressive, but there are still a lot of good teams in the West. They beat the Utah Jazz, who, sorry, not the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets, who didn't have Jamal Murray, which I think is a fair, excuse for the Denver not performing up to mark. But the way they stopped Jokic and limited him to, not so much MVP play, even though he did play incredible, they did, I think, stop that Nugget offense very well. And that was great. And then the Clippers without Kawhi, they still, did their job because Paul George, the Clippers with Pat Bev and Marcus Cousins and all those threats and Terrence Mann are still a threat. They were able to contain them very well. Uh, some might say they're lucky with the path they've been given through the injuries of all teams. No Jamal Murray for Nuggets, no AD for the Lakers, and no Kawhi for the Clippers, as I just said. But I think they've had their fair share of dominance throughout this NBA playoffs. A bit lucky, of course.
Suns
Uh,
taking the ship.
and that's my man Yogi getting in the video. He says Suns taking the ship, and yeah, I agree with him. Hawks and Bucks. I'm gonna go with Bucks and 7. It's really depending on the availability of things. Actually, I might go Hawks and 7. I'll go Hawks and 7. It'll be a great series, guys. Main content coming. I got Suns winning the ship. Hope you guys enjoyed this little review. We have a lot of banger content coming. Hopefully, daily uploads for the rest of the summer. Hope everyone enjoys. Have a great July 4th. And it's your boy Shice. Peace out. And make sure to subscribe.